Welcome to our group project, Teaching Vocabulary. I'm so honored to be here to talk about this topic. We have three members. Number one, Phạm Thị Thu Hồng. Number two, Phạm Huyền Trang. And number three, Nguyễn Thu Thủy. The first is our outline, and we have a sixth part in this. Number one, the importance of vocabulary in language learning. Number two, definition of vocabulary. Number three, which vocabulary should be taught and learned. Number four, what to teach, why teaching vocabulary. Number five, what is involved in teaching vocabulary. And the last, some suggestions for the teachers. Now we are going to move to the first part, the importance of vocabulary. We have some ideas. Without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. Wilkins, 1972, page 11 and 111. When students travel, they don't carry grammar books, but they carry dictionaries. Gresham in Lewis, 1993, part 3. So, what is vocabulary? And now I'm providing you with definition of vocabulary in part 2. In Hornby, 1985, defines vocabulary as total number of words which make up a language, or is a range of words known to or used by a person in a trade, profession, etc. So the freedictionary.com defines vocabulary as all the words of a language, the sum of words used by, understood by, or at the commands of a particular person or group. So, which vocabulary should be taught and learned? We should go to part 3. According to language, vocabulary can be divided into two types, active and passive. The first is about active vocabulary. It is a vocabulary that we need to understand and use. Number two, passive vocabulary. It is a vocabulary we need to understand. For example, when reading a text, but we will not need to use. So, which one should be spent more time teaching? We have to move to part 4 to know what to teach, why teaching vocabulary. For example, you can see a word web. The center part is what, and we should understand the sounds, and we should know phonology, and also the form of morphology, of course the meaning and syntax. So we need to know how to pronounce it for sounds. We also need to know how it is made up for parts. We can understand the nature of words. We also need to understand the meanings, because the different it can mean. And the last, we need to know the syntax, because we can understand how it combines with other words in phrases and sentences. For example, the word concentrate. The first thing is the sound. We can look at the IPA and know how to pronounce it. Concentrate, and we stress on the first syllable, concentrate. And we also know the type of speech. And concentrate here is a verb. About the meaning, we know that it has a synonym is focus. And the last, we know how to use it in a sentence like in the sentence, in the we also need to know the preposition concentrate on. An easy example, I was so sleepy that I couldn't concentrate on the lecture. So in part 5, we are going to get to know what is involved in teaching vocabulary. It's about, so we have 3 parts. The first part or the first step is presentation. The second step is practice and consolidation. And the last is a lexical or semantic development. And in presentation, we need to teach new items. We can use some technique like visual aid, relier, mind, situation or explanation. Example, synonyms and antonyms. The last way is translation. In the second part, practice and consolidation, we need to grab some techniques like matching, categorize the words, choose the odd one out, drawing the words, circle the words you hear, dictation, answering question, picture description, miming, and using game or songs. In the last part, lexical or semantic development. In this part, we can use words to write a paragraph or an essay. So, or we can also use some intensive reading or communicative activities. For example, if we use communicative activities, so we can rank ordering, like the first one is searing, and then boiling, hot, warm, lukewarm, tepid, cool, cold, and chilly. Or the example, nasty, spiteful, mean, cruel, horrible, wicked, evil, a bad. Bad is more positive than nasty. Or the last, peas, carrots, corn, cabbage, potatoes, onion, cucumber, zucchini, capsicum, bok choy, broccoli, and spinach. And we can use communicative activity as sequence and retelling. Like we use a picture of how a chicken was born and then grow up and later also lay some eggs, and their eggs also come back to the process of growing up of a chicken. So we also have some suggestions for teachers. The first is preparing ways to show meaning, and then we should keep teaching simple and clear. No complicated explanation is included. We should think about how to check student understanding. We should ask students to tell the meaning before offering the meaning. We should always keep a good dictionary by the side in the case a student asks a word you are not sure about. If you have never heard of the words, tell the student you will check and get back to them. And we have some references for you. VLL, Leo, 1995, Introducing Language Awareness, England Penguin Group. Second is D. Adrian, 1988, Teach English, a training course for teacher, Cambridge University Press. And number 4, G. Hammer, 1991, The Practice of English, Language Teaching Longman, Richard Frost, 2004, Presenting Vocabulary, retrieved from